You are present in the house, but absent in your child's life. And most parents don't even notice it's happening. You're at dinner together, but everyone's somewhere else. You're in the same car, but the silence feels like distance. Your child used to tell you everything. Now, they tell you nothing. And somewhere between the packed schedules and the screen time and the daily exhaustion, the thread between you quietly started fraying. Here's what child psychology actually tells us about that moment. Connection isn't something you have or you don't. It's something you build or you erode, one small interaction at a time, every single day. And the parents who maintain deep, lasting bonds with their kids aren't doing something dramatic. They're not planning weekend retreats or having the perfect heart-to-heart conversations. They're doing something much smaller and much more powerful. They've built 7 specific daily habits that most parents overlook entirely. And here's the counterintuitive part. None of them take more than 10 minutes, but the science behind why they work will completely change how you think about your relationship with your child. Let's start with the one that changes everything else. 10 minutes. That's it. 10 minutes of your complete, undivided, phone face down attention every single day. Not supervision, not being in the same room, actual presence, where your child leads and you follow. They want to show you a drawing, you look at the drawing. They want to explain a video game you don't understand, you let them explain it. They want to sit next to you and say nothing, you sit there with them. Attachment research is absolutely clear on this. Children who receive this kind of focused attention daily develop stronger emotional security, more confidence, and a deeper capacity to trust. Not because of the 10 minutes itself, but because of what those 10 minutes communicate to their nervous system. You matter more than whatever else I was doing. Now, here's what happens physically when you do the next one. When your child is talking to you and you look them in the eyes, really look, their brain releases oxytocin, the same bonding hormone that spikes in the first moments after birth, the same chemical that drives attachment. And here's what most parents don't realize. Divided attention doesn't just fail to create connection, it actively erodes it. Every time your child is mid-sentence and your eyes drift to your phone, their brain registers something. I'm not enough to hold their attention. Do that enough times and they stop bringing you the things that matter. Eye contact sounds like the smallest possible advice. It is also one of the most neurologically powerful things you can do in an ordinary Tuesday afternoon. Then there's touch. Not grand gestures. The morning hug before school, the hand on the shoulder when they're frustrated, the high five when they nail something they've been working on. Neuroscience on physical affection and parent-child relationships consistently shows the same outcomes: reduced cortisol, better emotional regulation, stronger attachment bonds. A study out of UCLA found that children who receive regular physical affection from parents show measurably lower stress responses during challenging situations. Your touch isn't just comfort. It's biological data their nervous system is collecting about whether the world is safe. Here's the habit that's hardest for most parents, and probably the most important one: listening without immediately correcting. When your child comes to you upset about something that feels small, your brain does something automatic. It jumps to solutions. It identifies the error in their thinking. It finds the lesson hiding in the story. And before they've even finished talking, you're already formulating your response. But here's what developmental psychologists have documented over and over. Children don't stop talking to their parents because their parents don't care. They stop because they don't feel understood. Every time a child shares something and gets a lecture back instead of acknowledgement, their brain files that interaction under one category: not safe to open up. So try this instead. Before you fix anything, say it back to them. That sounds really frustrating. Before you correct anything, get curious. What happened next? You'd be amazed how much your child has to say when they believe you're genuinely listening. And the child who trusts you with the small things at 7 will trust you with the terrifying things at 15. Predictability builds safety. That's not just a theory, it's measurable in children's brain development. Daily rituals, the same bedtime routine, the specific way you greet each other in the morning, the Friday night thing that's always been your thing. These repetitive moments create what neuroscientists call memory anchors. They wire emotional security directly into your child's developing brain. Your child will forget most of what you told them. They will not forget what it felt like to be part of your rhythms. Consistency doesn't just build routine, it builds belonging. Now, this next one gets underestimated because it feels like the opposite of serious parenting. Laughter. Not managed educational laughter, real, ridiculous, you're both losing it laughter. Research on family dynamics consistently finds that humor and playfulness are among the strongest predictors of long-term relationship quality between parents and children. When you're silly with your child, when you let yourself be the one who makes the joke or falls for the prank, you're sending them a message that goes deeper than any discipline strategy. You are safe with me, and I actually enjoy you. That distinction matters more than most parents realize. A child who feels genuinely enjoyed by their parent doesn't spend their energy seeking that feeling elsewhere. And then there's the one most parents skip because it feels obvious. Saying it out loud. I love you. I'm proud of you. Not after the achievement, not as a reward, just because they exist and they're yours. Child psychology on verbal affirmation shows something that should stop every parent in their tracks. Children do not automatically internalize what we assume they know. They internalize what they hear repeated. The words you say to your child regularly become their internal voice. The voice that narrates their choices at 22 and 45 and 60. What do you want that voice to sound like? Here's the truth about connection that most parenting conversations miss entirely. Your child is not drifting away from you in one big moment. They're drifting in dozens of small ones. The time you were distracted when they tried to show you something, the correction that came before the curiosity, the evening that passed without any real contact. Disconnection is quiet, it's cumulative. But so is the opposite. Every intentional moment of eye contact, every unhurried 10 minutes, every hug that happens for no reason, every time you listen before you respond, you're not just having a nice interaction, you're laying down neural architecture. You're teaching their brain what a safe relationship feels like. And the children who grow up knowing that feeling, they become the adults who can build it. Start with one habit. Just one. Do it tomorrow. Then do it the next day. Not perfectly, consistently. Because the bond you're building right now in these ordinary moments is the most important thing you will ever make.